Welcome to Cosmic Diaries. This is Priya Kale, your astrologer, and welcome to March. I'm sorry, guys, this is a little late, and the scenery is rapidly shifting this month. It's time to clarify our vision and then as bring it into being. Mars is now in Gemini. Mars entered Gemini on the 3rd of March, and Mars was in Taurus from the 6th of January and has been moving through Taurus since then. And as you may know, Mars was retrograde in Aries for pretty much the second half of 2020. And Mars is finally gaining traction and picking up speed. Mars and Taurus was still very slow energy, but we've been moving a lot, and the planets right now are between the nodes. And Mars is moving towards the north node now. So Mars is kind of dragging this whole train along. And it's, in many cases, it may have felt, wherever you have Mars transiting in your chart, like you've been the one or having to pull something along, pull a train along. And this might have felt, I don't know, hopefully you've been able to pace yourself, but it may have been exhausting physically. So it's important that, you are moving slowly because now Mars is in Gemini, and Mars in Gemini is very different energy from Mars in Taurus because this is very mental energy and cerebral energy, but we're probably multitasking, and there's a lot to get done. As Mars approaches this north node, there's a sense of having a date with destiny, and Mars will be. Let me see. Mars conjuncts the north node next month in April, and Mars will be in Gemini until the 23rd of April. So more on that in April. But as we move through March, as I mentioned earlier, the scenery is shifting pretty rapidly. And I'm still only talking about Mars. So Mars in Gemini is going to, there's a sense of a lot to get done. There are important choices to be made. And these are choices that are drawing you further towards your destiny. So it's important that you make them with awareness. With Mars, the message is always awareness. And Mars in Gemini, communication is certainly highlighted. And actions speak louder than words, yours and another's. And how you say something matters as much as what you say. Think of your final objective rather than be reactive to a certain situation. Because Gemini represents duality, and Mars can be anger or heated emotions if there isn't awareness. With awareness, you can channel this with focus and be honest, be direct, and negotiate or communicate with another without needing a sense of conflict or confrontation. There need not be any conflict. And any conflict or tension that you are experiencing, or if you are experiencing, or if we are experiencing, it's Mars represents the self. So this is something that needs to be resolved internally because sense of duality. Life is in black and white, and the sun is in Pisces, which is really telling us that all is one. So with Mars in Gemini now, it's a matter of we're learning how to harness this energy with focus so we can make choices in awareness that move us towards our destiny and, of course, what we are trying to create in our lives, what we do wish to create in our lives. Then on the 4th of March, which was Thursday, Mercury was conjunct Jupiter in Aquarius, and Mercury is now in its final shadow phase. There's a lot coming to the surface, and Mercury leaves shadow on the 13th of March, which is also the new moon in Pisces. So over the next week, as the moon wanes and Mercury moves through its final shadow phase, we're still reaching a deeper understanding of situations that have been playing out, since the second half of January or since mid-January. And then as the new moon aligns in Pisces and Mercury clears shadow, we can move forward with a deeper understanding of situations and our choices within them, and what you want in a situation as well. So the more you can clear your perceptions, you can start to see the reality of situations and the depth in situations, or your choices and how you want to navigate your way forward. And then with that new moon and Mercury's ingress into new territory, you can make a new start. The 5th of March, the sun was square the nodes and reached the final quarter of the moon. So at the time, the moon was in Sagittarius, square the sun in Pisces, and that was a turning point. Basically, we're halfway through the eclipses, and we're halfway in between eclipses and eclipse season. So we're about 3 months away from the next eclipse now. Look back at what was unfolding in December because you've reached a turning point since then. And now we're moving to the Pisces new moon on the 13th of March. And before that, there are aspects taking place. The sun will be conjunct Neptune on the 10th of March. So, with the sun conjunct Neptune and definitely in Pisces, this is very spiritual energy. There's, 13th of March, this new moon, well, the 12th of March is Mahashivratri. So, Maha meaning great, Shivratri is, Ratra is night, and Shiva is Shiva, auspiciousness or cosmic consciousness. So before a new moon is called Shivratri because it's a night of dissolution. And Shiva, that's when we merge into the infinite consciousness. So it's a point of the deep waning phase of the moon or the balsamic phase of the moon is that point of dissolution. And Mahashivratri is now we're at the end of, almost the whole zodiac year. So this is the great night of Shiva. And it's very auspicious in terms of your spiritual practice. So on this night, you're supposed to stay up in meditation all night. And if you stay up all night, then you can have that glimpse of Shiva, infinite consciousness, your innermost being. But you have to stay up all night in meditation and see what happens. But it's a very deeply spiritual time, or it's a time to really deepen your spiritual practice. And on a mundane level, with Pisces, this is very infinitely creative energy and a waning moon and the waning cycle of the moon. This is a time of dissolution. So this is a time to release illusions and delusions and disappointments and any past pain and hurt, and to let go of what Pisces represents, this Maya, because this world is a dream. Even science is proving that. We live in it's a sort of a hologram. So without even getting that deep, it's on a deeply Pisces is very healing energy. So wherever there has been a sense of woundedness or a loss, it's time to just release and empty out because nature abhors a vacuum. And as we enter this new moon on the 13th, it's a very auspicious new moon and new beginning. And this is a time of renewal. And there are infinite opportunities arising here because Venus is conjunct Neptune on the same day. So the new moon will take place in Pisces at 5:22 a.m. And then on the same day, Venus conjuncts Neptune at 11:07 p.m. So Venus conjunct Neptune, I mean, it's absolutely magical, and I'm not exaggerating it. But at the same time, if something seems too good to be true, trust that. If you're not sure of something, dip your toes before you dive in. Test the waters. And don't turn your back on the ocean. It's powerful energy, and it could be easy to get swept away. Pisces represents, the two fish that swim in the opposite direction, and one fish swims towards enlightenment, and the other swims towards the murkier waters of Maya, or illusion, or attachments to the material reality. And it's not to say that we are born on this physical plane and we are here to have a physical existence and experience and enjoy life's pleasures, but we're also being asked to go beyond the surface of things and to really look into the heart and soul of things and recognize what's truly valuable in situations, because Pisces is very ethereal energy, and this new moon, it's about clarifying a vision and clarifying the purest vision in your heart. This speaks of unconditional love, and when it comes to creativity and financial matters as well, There's infinite, potential with Venus conjunct Neptune at a new moon in Pisces. It's truly boundless. I mean, I can't say that enough. But you can have all the fantasies in the world, but at some point you have to you have to nurture it. And then when the right moment comes, you act on it. So if there isn't clarity, you don't need to like rush into something, but and be careful of projecting fantasies. There's nothing wrong with having a vision, having a dream, and feeling what you feel. But even so, move slowly until you've seen the reality of things. Because you're still very much in this new moon. I mean, this is still the new moon. You're seeding, planting seeds. So, yes, sow seeds of love and all of that, but it's a new moon. It's time to go inward for insight and allow your inner compass to guide you, your inner moral compass as well to guide you. Because with Venus conjunct Neptune, it could be easy to get swept away. And you don't have full clarity yet. You can only feel what you feel in your heart or within you, or the vision you see in your mind's eye. But as the moon grows, slowly things will come to light and you will see the reality of things. So trust how you feel, but move slowly moving forward because you still don't have the full picture and it's still too dark to see. And then, as the quote goes from The Little Prince, what's essential can only be seen with the heart. So pay attention to the seeds you're sowing, as well as be open to receive the grace and unconditional love that the universe wants to shower on you through all the people in your life and all the situations in your life. So, Mercury enters Pisces on the 15th of March, and Mercury will be in Pisces until the 3rd of April. So, that Mercury in Pisces is certainly different energy from Mercury in Aquarius, where Aquarius was an air sign and Mercury is a cerebral planet. So, communication was easier. Now, with Mercury in Pisces, I'm not saying that it's very intuitive and psychic energy, but there is also a sense of, Pisces is very emotional energy, and of perhaps feeling more than you have the words for. This energy is very poetic and so it's and creative. So when it's great for creative writing and poetry writing and all your creative pursuits, as well as your deepening your intuitive abilities. But that means learning to listen to your inner voice rather than, and when it comes to communication with others, seeking clarity and transparency as much as possible and not making assumptions, because with the mind it could be easy to allow your assumptions or perceptions to color your ability to see something clearly or hear what someone is saying clearly. So watch your own projections and your mental perceptions, and the more you can let go of those, you can start to really listen or understand something on a deeper level. So then on the 16th of March, the Sun sextiles Pluto. On the 17th of March, Mars sextiles Chiron. And then on the 18th of March, Venus sextiles Pluto. So between the 16th to the 18th of March, there's a deep it's all ongoing. Nothing happens in a vacuum. But as we move through the 16th to the 18th of March with the Sun and Venus sextile Pluto, there's a deep transformation underway. We're seeing the deeper layers of a situation, and we're being able to again let go of what's preventing us from moving forward and making progress in our life, and to consciously channel our energy into something that we're trying to create rather than what we're leaving behind. With the aspects to Pluto, it's about letting go of what it means to be successful or conditioning of what something is supposed to look like, and then really tapping into what makes you happy and what you truly value and what will matter after you're gone and what will matter at the end of your life, and then just letting go of the rest and having to flow with this energy. With Mars sextile Chiron at this time, there can be real powerful healing underway, and your words really have the power to hurt or heal. But with the sextiles, there is a sense now that healing can come easier. You can find a way to express how you're truly feeling, or then really understand what is really unfolding and evaluate your life on that level so you can make those conscious choices moving forward. You know, we all have a past, we all have our issues, all have our wounds, and we're all working them out. And as long as we're alive, we're still learning and growing. And mostly we're learning and growing about ourselves. You know, we're growing ourselves, and we're changing ourselves, and we're learning ourselves. This is, everyone's individual journey of self-realization. And this is Pisces, where everything merges and bleeds into one. So it's like you don't know how your life is rippling out in ways seen and unseen. And there's real magic in the air right now with this new moon in Pisces that begins on the 13th of March. And as I said, the scenery is changing rapidly here. So let go of the past, let go of your ideas of success and failure and what something looks like, and really move to flow with what makes you happy, towards what excites you. Then, and keep one foot in reality. I'm not saying get lost in a dream. Don't lose your common sense. That's why it's important that you're true to your integrity and you don't compromise your values at any cost. Because then, if you compromise your values or your integrity, especially with Venus and Pluto, then you're in murky waters and going down a slippery slope. But the energy shifts dramatically on the 20th of March when we reach the equinox and the Aries ingress. The sun ingresses Aries at 4:37 a.m. on the 20th of March. And this is the beginning of, the astrological new year in a sense, or you could say that comes with the new moon. But the equinox is the Aries point, and the Aries point is a point in the zodiac which is 0 degrees Aries, and it's where, the key word for that point in the zodiac is the personal is political. So especially if you have planets at 0 degrees of Aries or otherwise, or at the 0 degrees of the cardinal signs, you'll feel this transit more personally. But it's the sense of where one person's story becomes the story for a larger collective. So pay attention to what's unfolding in the news and in your life as well. You'll see this happen. And there's a sense of you recognizing your role in the greater scheme of things. Venus enters Aries on the 21st of March, and now Venus is exalted in Pisces, and Venus has been moving through Pisces since the end of February. So Venus in Pisces has been teaching us the lessons of unconditional love, divine love, a higher love, of moving beyond the surface and appearances and what something looks like, to really peer into the heart and soul of things and to peer into your own heart and soul. Now, as Venus enters Aries, the energy shifts, and Venus in Aries, this is not the easiest energy for Venus to be in. Because Aries is a Mars ruled sign and it's a masculine sign. So this is a woman in a man's world in a sense. Because society expects women to be a certain way. So it's about how we express that femininity. And at best, Venus in Aries, there's a sense of innocence and naivete and an ability to be curious about life and to, this is pure raw life and power of Shakti and creation. It's just a matter of how you channel this energy. The energy is very passionate, and the desire is awakening or recognizing new desires within you, and you're learning what you want in financial situations, creative situations, in your relationships. And it's a matter of now you being honest with yourself moving forward. The moon. Later that evening, Mercury sextiles Uranus, and then Mars trines Saturn later that day. So the 21st of March, pretty much 20th is when we have the Aries ingress, and then the 21st of March, there's all of these aspects taking place. Something's really stabilizing, communication, there's a sense of reaching a more solid understanding of situations, and things are stabilizing. You're learning what you want, and you're going to be able to find that sense of support where you need it the most. Of course, this will all depend on how it all plays out individually in your chart. Uh, but with Mars trine Saturn, Venus entering Aries, Mercury sextile Uranus that day, you know, there are unexpected opportunities arising, but at the same time, it's all communication as well that's taking place. But maybe that's the point of you just, knowing what you want and then being able to communicate directly and then listen to what another's saying and being able to find a way forward that really works for everybody and is stable and supports everyone and a greater, larger collective as well. On the 23rd of March, Mercury squares Mars, and this can get a little, because Mercury is in Pisces, Mars is in Gemini. There's a sense of having just too many options, too many thoughts, ideas. If you're upset about something, avoid projecting it, move inward, ask yourself what you really want, be honest with yourself first. And if you're angry about something, upset about something, it always masks a deeper emotion. So once you can really figure out what's going on with you, then you can find a way to express what you need to. Once you're in a more calm state, when you have more clarity. The 26th of March, the Sun meets Venus, conjuncts Venus at 5 degrees of Aries. And then Venus will conjunct Chiron on the 28th of March, which is also the full moon in Libra. So when it comes to relationships, love, financial situations, creative situations, things are really heating up. And with conjunctions, well, with the Sun conjunct Venus, Venus conjunct Chiron opposite this full moon, this is intense. Relationships, all your relationships are being highlighted, especially wherever you have Libra in your chart. Balance is needed, and remember, your most important relationship is the one you have with yourself. Be honest with yourself, because with conjunctions, the energy is very fused and it can be very unconscious. So if there are wounds that you've been healing or that need to heal, the more you can be aware of your wounds, you won't project them out on others. The lesser expectations you hold on to others, the easier it will be to find a balance. This is about finding a balance with your needs and others, but first it's about you finding a balance within yourself. No one can make you happy, no one can make me happy. We have to do that for ourselves. And yes, people may trigger our emotions, situations may trigger our emotions, but ultimately, your emotions are your emotions, my emotions are mine. And until we can find a way to find that balance within ourselves, which is what this full moon is teaching us, whatever you're feeling right now, the root of it is love. With that Sun conjunct Venus and Venus conjunct Chiron, however, even if something feels bittersweet, love is the best medicine, however cheesy that sounds. It's learning to love yourself and recognize that, okay, you can't change the past, but you can be more self-aware and be more honest with yourself, and then show up more authentically in your relationships with others. Only hurt people hurt people. So if you're hurting, then try to recognize that rather than project it. And if someone else seems to be projecting stuff, try to be more compassionate with yourself and others. And that doesn't mean that you take anyone's bullshit, but you can draw boundaries where necessary. Take the space you need. And then on the 29th of March, the Sun conjuncts Chiron. So this is, ongoing. We're still under that energy. And on the 29th of March, Mercury will be conjunct Neptune as well. So be careful of your perceptions and avoid projecting perceptions or making assumptions in conversations. Seek clarity, seek depth, seek truth. Trust your intuition, but at the same time, wait till you can have honest conversations and reach a deeper understanding, because that's what you really want. And that begins with honesty with yourself. And then we end the month, Venus and the Sun sextile Saturn. So situations are stabilizing. We are creating and manifesting our reality. And it's a matter now of letting go of the past disappointments so you can create something new. And it begins with finding that clarity and being able to let the past go. So all's well that ends well. I really like the way the month is ending. The Sun and Venus will be in Aries while as they sextile Saturn. So there is a sense of finding your place in a larger collective and recognizing your power and ability to create your reality as well, which also means taking ownership and responsibility for your actions, for your words, for your presence, and for your being and how you show up in all of your relationships and to yourself, most importantly. So, uh, I think, well, that's it. I'm not going to go on for more, but I think that's that's good enough for March. I will be making more videos so I can go into deeper transits later. But thank you as always for watching. I hope you found that useful. And sign up at cosmicdiaries.com for my newsletter. Email me, Priya at Cosmic Diaries, for consultations. And I'll be back with you with more very soon. Bye for now.